Hello friends, and welcome to our very first 2025 fall video, or autumn video, autumnal video, whatever you want to call it. It is our first fall video, and I'm so excited. Today is going to be a little bit of a small step into fall, because I'm not yet done getting all of my decorations to do a decorating with me video, but I figured one of the best ways to kind of get into the fall feels, fall mood is picking out the books I'm going to be reading this season. And I'm really excited because I think we have a really good kind of selection that's going to be a very wide range. So I think no matter what kind of reader you are, romance, horror, gothic, classic, we have something for everybody in this video. And I don't know too much about all of these books, so it'll be very fun and exciting to learn a little bit about each of them with you. But I figured I would just show you my top 10 at least top 10, because I'm sure there's going to be a couple other books that come in, a couple of books that drop out, but these are kind of the 10 books that popped into my head where I was like, I want to read these books this fall. So I hope you're cozy, comfy, have a coffee, have a kitty, have a sunflower, whatever is going to make your heart happy. And let's go ahead and dive into these 10 books. And the first one you probably saw on the thumbnail, and it's a classic, and that's going to be Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I read Dracula, I believe, 2 years ago, and so I wanted to read Frankenstein this year, and I love this edition. I think these ones are some of my favorite editions. They kind of have this metal feeling book, and it's just so beautiful. I love also the gold edges, so I'm not a big sprayed edges fan, not because I don't think they're beautiful, but because I just don't find them very often, weirdly enough. But I'm really excited for this one. I'm really excited to actually finally pick up Frankenstein. I've heard only good things about it. I've heard that the middle can get a little slow, so I'm curious as to how I'm going to feel about that one. But I'm just really excited for Frankenstein. If you've read this one, let me know, and let me know your thoughts. But also, I'm always so shocked because some people have Frankenstein novels that are this thick, and mine's so thin. I think it's the edition I have, but yeah. Frankenstein's number 1. The next one is an author I've been wanting to read, but I haven't actually found a book of except for the one I have in my hand, and that's Rachel Harrison. And so I'm sure a lot of you have read from Rachel Harrison, at least Cackle and Such Sharp Teeth. That's how I know that they're books by her. But I heard about the Black Sheep last year or the year before, and I thought, that sounds fascinating. So I decided I wanted to pick it up, and I didn't actually realize that this was the same person that wrote Cackle. And Cackle's been on my TBR list, my not physical TBR, but sometime in the future I will find it and read it TBR for 4 or 5 years now. So I'm actually really excited to pick up a novel by Rachel Harrison. I think this one's going to be a very intense and interesting one, especially since the first couple of sentences were so fascinating. Do you guys want a first 2-sentence preview? I love reading the first two sentences of a book. So let's go ahead and do just a little preview. As I stood singing the birthday song for the 5th time that evening, I realized I was wrong for not believing in hell. So, that's Black Sheep for you. Actually, let me tell you a little bit more about this book, sorry. So it sounds like Vespa left home at 18 and never looked back, mostly because she was told that leaving the staunchy religious community she grew up in meant that she couldn't return. But then an invitation to the wedding of Vesper's cousin, Rosie, arrives. Something inside her insists she goes, even if it means returning to the toxic environment she escaped, even if it means reuniting with her mother, Constance, a former horror film star and forever ice queen. What's interesting is that it's a highly religious community, and her mom was a horror film star. Also, try saying horror film star really quickly. It's hard. So I'm actually quite excited for this one. I think it'll be very entertaining. I think it's just a fun, probably horror book that's great for the Halloween season, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna read it sooner than Halloween, just because, you know what, you can read a horror book whenever you want to. You don't have to wait for the horror season. So that's book one. I'm going to read you the first line of Frankenstein because, I'm also not going to tell you what Frankenstein is about. because it's a classic. A lot of people know what Frankenstein's about. I'm not assuming you know what Frankenstein's about, but we know Frankenstein and his monster, and we know his monster is brought back from, actually not brought back from the dead, but he's put together and he is the dead come alive type thing. Okay. Letter 1, St. Pittsburgh's, December 11th, 17, to Miss Saville, England. You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings. Oh, that's a one way to start a letter. So that's Frankenstein's first sentence for you. I wasn't actually expecting that. I know Dracula is written through a lot of letters, which I really actually enjoyed. I like that kind of structure, and I'm curious as to how Frankenstein's going to be set up. I actually have no clue. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Now, kind of stepping away from the horror genres and the classics, we got The Spell Shop. I actually bought this one for my birthday a couple of months ago because I've been hearing such amazing things about it. This one's by Sarah Beth Durst, and this is supposed to be just a very cozy, very warm, very just lovely little novel of a lady who works in a library and has, what's the word? A sidekick that's a plant, but the plant is alive. It's not like the plant is just sitting there. It's not like these sunflowers. If my sunflowers were a sidekick, I'd be worried for my sanity. Ola's my sidekick, but she just decided to take my chair and enjoy my new reading chair. But I can sit on the floor, it's fine, it's fine. So this Spell Shop is supposed to be just a very cozy, whimsical book. I'm looking forward to reading this one, especially when I need a break from like a lot of stress and a lot of and just want a nice little fun read. The first sentence of this book is chapter 1. Ooh, I love the art that's on the chapter pages. Those are pretty. I apologize if I pronounce any characters' names incorrectly. It happens. So, Kilea never thought the flames would reach the library. That's sentence 1. So, will the flames reach the library or not, is the question. The next novel I'm going to talk about is I'm not actually sure if it's based in the fall season, but I read another novel from this author and I really, really did enjoy it. And I'm trying to embrace my Native American heritage a little bit more. I'm trying to understand my tribe a little bit more and be more involved. And so that's why I picked up Tommy Orange There. I read Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange last year for my 24 books of 2024, and or 12 books. I did not read 24 books. 12 books of 2024. I didn't even finish the 12 books of 2024, but I did read Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, and I really loved that book because it talks a lot about pain and brokenness, and that book was really heavy and painful at times because it ends up talking about generational movements of when the Europeans and everybody came to the US and started colonizing the US, and what ended up happening to the Native Americans, and also what ended up happening to different generations of families. So really fascinating story. And so I looked up Tommy Orange and I saw that he wrote another book called There, and I decided I wanted to read this one as well. So that's why we have There here. I've also heard amazing things about this book, so I'm looking forward to reading it. So you know a little bit more about There. Jacques Red Feather is newly sober and hoping to reconnect with her estranged family. That's why she is there. Denis is there because he has been collecting stories to honor his uncle's death, while Edwin is looking for his true father, and Opal came to watch her boy Orville dance. All of them are connected by bonds they may not yet understand. All of them are there for the celebration that is a big Oklahoma powwow, but Tony Loman is also there, and Tony has come to the powwow with a darker intention. Oof. So that's There for you. I'm really looking forward to this, but I know this one's going to be a little bit of a heavier read, and so I know I'm going to have to maybe take this one a little bit slower. But first sentence from the prologue. Does the little snippet above the actual, before the story starts, count as the first sentence? It's a good question. I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna jump to actually the first sentence. There was an Indian head, the head of an Indian, the drawing of a head-dressed, long-haired Indian depicted, drawn by an unknown artist in 1939, broadcast until late 1970s to American TVs everywhere after all the shows ran out. You have no idea. That one's a mystery. That's probably one of the more vague and intriguing lines I've read in as a first sentence part of a book. So that's there for you. The next one is kind of a random one, and I'm really excited for this. I love mushrooms. I think mushrooms are so fascinating. I think they're really magical, and especially during the fall season, and they're just so weird, and I love how different they are and where they grow, and I find them really cool. So I picked up a book called Entangled Life by Marilyn Sheldrake. This is a book all about mushrooms. It is how fungi make our worlds, change our minds, and shape our futures. So this is a nonfiction, and it is just different things about fungi and mushrooms. I picked this one up because I was at Shakespeare, and it's not Shakespeare and Company, it's Shakespeare and Sons in Berlin. And so I was, funny enough, standing next to the restroom, and I didn't want to make the person that was inside the restroom feel rushed, so I decided to go look at books. We had already bought books, but I saw this one and I was like, I gotta buy this one now too. So this one is, like I said, all about mushrooms, and I even have mushroom earrings on today, which is quite fun. And I'm gonna read the prologue. I looked up towards the top of the tree. That's the first sentence. I wasn't gonna read the prologue. I was gonna read the first sentence. That was literally the first sentence. There's an introduction. There's a table of contents, which should be really kind of fun. There's what it is like to be a fungus. Chapter 1 is Allure. 2 is Living Labyrinths. One of the ones that I think is going to be really interesting is called Wood Wide Webs. And I love the wordplay there. So, and there's Making Sense of Fungi, The Intimacy of Strangers, which I think is going to be the fun interaction of two different fungi coming together. And I think it's just going to be really fascinating. They even talk about the fungi that this actually fits really well with Halloween and horror and stuff like that, but the fungi that affect bugs and stuff like that. So I'm quite fascinated. I'm really excited about this. This is not going to be a book where I sit down and read it from front to back, but I think this is going to be my nice Sunday read where I sit down on the sofa and I just read a chapter or a couple pages just so I can learn a little bit more about fungus and mushrooms. Yes. Before I talk about the last 3 physical books I have in front of me, I have 2 books that I don't own. And these 2 books I'm going to rent from the library, or I'm going to listen to as an audiobook. And I don't listen to very many audiobooks, not because I don't like it, but because I haven't found the ability to do it, if that makes sense. So for me, when I'm listening to an audiobook, I get completely sucked in and I have to listen to it. So I can't listen to it while I'm working. I can't listen to it while I'm drawing. I can't listen to it while I actually have to think about something else. So I am going to test it out again. That's what that whole thing was going to be about. So I'm going to test out an audiobook again, and I'm going to be listening to The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I just saw that they are releasing a movie about this on Netflix, and I thought, oof, before they release the novel, I want to read the book. So if you don't know about this book, it is, I'm trying to get a photo of it, and it's actually way more difficult than I thought it would be. So sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is The Thursday Murder Club. I could have also just popped up a photo right here, which now I'm going to do. Okay, So The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman is supposed to be kind of like a cute little murder mystery, and I saw a film was going to be released on Netflix, but I wanted to read the book beforehand. I actually was planning to get the book from the library a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately I still only read in English. When I read in German, it just takes me forever. So I wanted to rent this one or borrow it from the library, and they only have Richard Osman's like new collection of books. I can't remember what they're called. But I want to read The Thursday Murder Club first. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to this as an audiobook, and I'm going to start it next week, because I have exciting news, well, kind of. Because it's fall, I'm going to start doing weekly fall videos. I love this season. I think it's so fun. I think it's so creative. I think it's so cozy and whimsical and delightful that this season I like to try to do one video a week. It'll still be posted on Thursdays, and next week is going to be kind of like a decorating video. I haven't decided if I'm going to show you how to make pumpkins out of paper mache, or if we're just going to decorate the apartment and then I'll show you how to make the pumpkins a week later. I don't know yet, but that's the exciting news. I'm going to go ahead and start doing weekly videos, but I'm going to go ahead and start this audiobook when I start decorating the apartment, and I'm really excited because I have some wonderful ideas. We're going to do a little bit more practical magic themed. We're also going to do magic themed, and we're also going to kind of like bring in a lot of fun and creative ideas. I'm really excited. I'm going to go all out decorating this year, or all out in my aspect of all out. I can't go all out like other people. I love other people's homes, but I just don't have the ability to get certain decorations here in Germany. So I'm going to go as much as I can, and I'm really excited. And I hope you enjoy me next week, because I want to show off this funness. So that's my exciting news. But Richard Osman, the Thursday Murder Club, that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about books. So the Thursday Murder Club is about a group of older people in retirement, I think, who come together and they start investigating a murder. And that's what I know about it, and I'm okay just doing that. And let's go ahead and see if I can find the first sentence. Sometimes you can. Part 1. Meet new people and try new things. Joyce. Well, let's start with Elizabeth, shall we? Okay, sentence question number 1. So I think this will be fun, and I think this will be a great audiobook because I don't think I have to pay super close attention, but I think I can at least enjoy the atmosphere, the feelings, the camaraderie between a few characters. So I'm really excited to pick that one up. I think it'll be really interesting. The next book I'm going to go ahead and also, I think I'm going to try to pick this one up from the library if they have it. I don't think they do, so I might have to buy this one. It's not a bad thing. Is The Discovery of Witches, which I heard so much about. It's by Deborah Harkness? Deborah. I'm probably pronouncing her name incorrectly. Harkness. And I heard a lot about this book a couple years ago, and I kept putting it off because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to like it. And now this year, I'm just like, I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to give The Discovery of Witches a try. I think it'll be really fascinating. I know that Morgan Lung's talked about it. I know that Darlene Dussie's talked about it. I know that has Christiane Jones talked about it? I don't know. I just know a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers I watch have talked about this. I've also seen it on Instagram. So I think it's just time for me to pick this book up, especially since I've been seeing that there's a show about it, and I don't think I'm interested in watching the show, but I am really fascinated about what the story is about, especially since it's about witches. From my understanding, it's about a lady who works in a library or works in a bookstore or does research, and she finds a book that kind of lets an assortment of things start happening. That's all I know about it, and I think it sounds really fascinating. And I think this will be also a really fun fantasy kind of cozy book for those nights where I just want to have a fun cozy book kind of night with a fun candle and a relaxing night. So that's the other book I'm picking up from the library. The next one I'm actually getting from the library. I own a physical copy, but my physical copy is in German. So I'm gonna pick up The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien at the library, and I'm gonna read The Hobbit in English. And I'm really excited because I have never read The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings, and I've heard so many great things about this series and this collection, and I love the films. So I think this will be a really, really great kind of step into this world, in the literature world, and I'm so fascinated with how different it is from also the films. So I'm excited to read The Hobbit. I'm not going to be reading it in German. I'll be reading it in English, but I'm going to rent that one from the library or borrow it from the library as well. I know the library has this one at least in English, and I'm just really excited. Also, look how fun this is in the German copy. Der kleine Hobbit. Just so fun. I love how it always looks in a different language, and I wish I would just suck it up and read it, but I know this would take me so long, and I like reading in English because I can understand everything I'm trying to read. If you know a second language, I hope you understand, and you can sympathize for me, because second languages are cool, but sometimes hard. Okay, 2 more books. Sorry. I did not read the first sentence of The Discovery of Witches. I do apologize. Let me see if I can find that. It begins with absence and desire. I wonder if that's really the first sentence or not. I don't know if it is, but if it is, let me know. Can you check for me? What's the first sentence of The Discovery of Witches? If you could put it in the comments below, I would really appreciate it. And then everybody will know. And then J.R.R. Tolkien, the first sentence. Should we read it in German? In einer Höhle in der Erde, da lebt ein Hobbit. Okay, at least I know how to read that sentence. In a hole in the earth, there lived a hobbit. So that's sentence number 1. Sentence number 1. That's the first sentence in the German version of the kleine Hobbit. The Hobbit. Okay, 2 more books. We have When the Reckoning Comes by Latanya McQueen. I believe I got this recommendation from Lala Books, a YouTuber. I really enjoy her recommendations. She always has a very wide range of recommendations. This book is kind of ghosty, horror, uncomfortable, and just uncomfortable. I think that's the best way to describe it. I bought this actually from Micha for him to read last winter for Christmas, I believe, or the Christmas before that, or his birthday, I can't remember. But he said he enjoyed it and it was fascinating. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it'll fit the feelings of this like in between summer and fall kind of feel, where we have like a lot of that muggy weather or hot days, where you have the fall feels in the evenings but the hot kind of sticky weather in the afternoon. I just read another book called, his name was Death, I believe. I think that's the name of it, and it was really interesting. His name was Death. I'm Googling it. Yes, his name was Death by Raphael Bernal. So this one was also quite fascinating, and this one dealt with mosquitoes and that hot sticky weather, that like in between of where you're having really hot days but your evenings are quite cool, and then you have a lot of mosquitoes coming out. Really, honestly, the perfect time to read this book, because there was a lot of mosquitoes and that same exact feeling. And Mitya mentioned that this book also kind of has that like stickiness feeling. So that's one of the reasons I'm picking up this one, and this is going to be a kind of more a book I'm going to read sooner rather than later. And the first sentence of this book is, after people had asked Maria what she saw. It's really fascinating to kind of hear the first sentence of books, and sometimes they're really long, sometimes they're really detailed, sometimes they're very short, and sometimes they're just very punchy. So I do know that this has to deal with the South and slavery, I believe. I'm just going to read a little bit in the back so we all know. More than a decade ago, Maria fled Kippspin. her segregated hometown in the South to forget. With every mile she traveled, she distanced herself from her past, from her best friend Celine, mocked by their town as the only white girl with black friends, from her old neighborhood, from the Erie woodsman plantation rumored to be haunted by the spirits of slaves, from the terrifying memory of a ghost she saw on the terrible day when a dare gone wrong almost got Jesse, the boy she secretly loved, arrested for murder. Okay, well that was a lot. So that's When the Reckoning Comes. I'm actually quite looking forward to this one, and I think this one's going to be kind of more of what I read next. The last one is a recommendation by Carrie Can Read. She talked about this book in like her sticky summer feeling months, but I thought this one also would fit really well in this in-between phase and this like weird fall phase that we're having here in Germany. I know it's not technically fall yet, but the transition to fall. And this is Bittersweet in the Hollow by Kate Purcell. This is supposed to be very sticky and a little bit more in the direction of body horror and dealing with plants. And as I mentioned, I like mushrooms. So, but I was just looking forward to reading this one because it's very uncomfortable, very almost whimsical. It kind of reminded me of Smother Moss, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this one up, because I liked kind of the uncomfortable thing about Smother Moss, but I didn't like the fact that it didn't go deeper into those uncomfortable feelings. So that's one of the reasons I picked this one up. I don't know much about it, so I'm going to read the back first before I read the first sentence. Like her sister, Linda James was born with an unusual talent. She can taste what others are feeling. Stop. But this so-called gift soured her relationship. Oh, soured. That's why. Soured her relationship with an aggravatingly attractive Cole Spencer who one fateful night a year ago. But this so-called gift soured her relationship with an aggravatingly attractive Cole Spencer one fateful night a year ago. The night Linda vanished into the depths of the national forest and returned with no memory of what happened, only questions of haunted nightmares that suggest there is more to her story than simply getting lost. That was way more difficult than I was expecting, and I'm so sorry. Sometimes when there's like punctuation and more thoughts in one area, it can get really complicated, and sometimes I wish it was just to the point. But yeah, we can't all get what we want, right? So, chapter 1. Here's what I know for sure. A cast iron skillet must be seasoned with lard. All right. I think you can season it with other oils, but that's what she said. So those are my 10 books that I'm really wanting to get to this fall. I'm hoping I can get to them. I would love to hear what books you're coming to get to, or what fall books you're kind of wanting to read. Let's go ahead and share them in the comments below, because the more books we have to share, the more the merrier, the more we can just really kind of have fun and get to a lot of wonderful stories. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little step into fall, not completely into fall yet, but just a little tiny step into fall. But we have our ghosties, we have our orange pillow, we have our sunflowers, we have our mushrooms, and I didn't even show off my foxes. So we're getting into fall. Next week, we're really gonna dive in. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do for next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you how to make a paper mache pumpkin, or I'm going to show you the decorations I'm going to be doing, but it's just going to be loads of fun this year. And if you have any requests of what to see for the fall videos, let me know in the comments below. It's going to be really helpful. I love to get your ideas. I love to kind of expand and explore and do fun things with you guys. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything specifically you're wanting to see. But until then, until next week, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, a fantastic week, a wonderful weekend. By the way, I'm going to be posting a video about a book, Valore, I think is the name. I have a hard time remembering the name because it's Spanish, by Xavier. I can't remember the names. I'm terrible with names. This video is going to be out on the 1st of September. This is my blind date with a book and blind date with a bake video. I would love if you guys go and watch that as well. Just anything helps. I really love enjoying making these videos. I really love being part and creating a community that's cozy and fun and welcoming, and the more the merrier, and the more we share, the more people we find that are also looking at trying to find a cute, cozy community that talks about books, baking, and other cozy content. So I super appreciate you guys. If you liked this video, make sure you guys give it a like. It does really help. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because we're going to be doing some fun fall things. Yep. And I'll see you guys in a couple days, or at least next Thursday, where we have another fall video. Okay. Until then, you guys, ciao.